So today I want to discuss with you what is waiting for you when you leave the Father's house. I'm here to tell you what's waiting for you is doubt. Doubt will first start nipping at your heels, and by the time you reach your destination, it'll be resting in your head. You know, the prodigal son, by the time he reached the mud, he felt that his only hope for getting food was to approach the servants because they have leftovers. He doubted that his father could still have that kind of love for him. So I want to discuss another person that experienced doubt, and that is Thomas. If you go to the book of John, chapter 20, verse 24, it says, Thomas was one of the 12 and was not with them when Jesus came. See, Thomas had drifted away from the group at the time when there was a lot of doubt among the apostles. Jesus had just been crucified. They were gathering together, trying to make sense of what they just found out. See, in verse 25, it goes on to say, the other disciples said to him, "We've seen the Lord." You see, there was no more doubt in the other apostles' heart. They saw the Lord. But it goes on and says, but he said, which is Thomas, to them, except I shall see in his hands the prints of the nails, and thrust my hand in his side, I will not believe. See, distance from God destroys faith. Even if you're approached by other believers with evidence, distance from God is going to destroy faith. It is going to allow doubt to become dominant in you. In verse 26, it says, now 8 days later, the disciples were in the house. This time Thomas was with them. And Jesus came in, the doors being shut, and stood in the middle of the group and said, have peace. Now, this time when Jesus returns to the group, he shows them the difference of a new resurrected body. It could pass through doors and still be a physical body. Jesus sees that they're afraid and he tells them, have peace. What would you do if you experienced this yourself? The doors are closed and the point is made for a purpose, and that is that this is a different kind of body. In verse 27, it says, then said Jesus to Thomas, reach here with your finger, behold my hands, where the nails were, and reach here with your hands, and thrust them into my side, where the spear was thrusted. And don't be faithless, but believe. See, Jesus saw that Thomas's faith needed repair. When a prodigal son leaves the house, his faith slowly begins to be destroyed. When Thomas returns to the house, he needs proof. This is the doubt I'm talking about. It starts at your heels and works its way to your head. No matter what other Christians were telling him, he needed proof. This is where you're at right now. But in verse 28, it says, Thomas answered and said, my Lord and my God. This is where you need to be. So let me ask you, what is the difference between someone that never leaves the Father's house and someone that leaves the Father's house? You know, I've spoke to you before about the beautiful faith that my wife has. It amazes me, the strength that comes from that faith. And I'm taught by watching her every day how strong I could have been if I had just stayed home. Now, Jesus will now show you the difference between somebody that stays home and has their faith developed and somebody that wanders away. In 29, it says, Jesus said to him, Thomas, because you have now seen me, you believe. But blessed are they that have not yet seen me and have believed. Listen, the other apostles stayed together. And because they did and waited, they had faith that now has abounded. Thomas walked away, and his faith deteriorated. The people that stayed home were blessed. See, Thomas had left the grieving apostles after Jesus died on the cross. He needed to see what else was out there because he needed to find faith in whatever else was left. Because his faith was damaged. The other apostles, on the other hand, they were very hurt. All they had was their hope, but they really didn't have evidence. But their faith kept them in the house together. And yet they had not yet seen the resurrected Christ, but they did believe. Jesus says they're blessed. Staying in the Father's house will bless you. See, Thomas had to have proof, or else he was going to believe nobody, not even other Christians. Christ had to repair his faith. Doubt had come from his heels and already entered his head. Let me tell you this now. Don't leave home. Stay with your brothers and sisters. Leaving home will damage your faith. And when your faith is damaged, doubt will enter in. The way I look at it is the prodigal road is a two-way street. There are people leaving and people coming home to the Father. Don't be confused about this. There are thousands of you on that road. My hope is that I can help stop the people on the road on their way away from the Father's house and tell them, turn around. And to the people in the pig pen, I want to help them out of the mud, walk with them back home. It is hard. You are going to need to see evidence. But when you get there, you will say, my Lord and my God. This is food that I've been providing to my family for years. I want to provide this to you. I hope you'll share it with a friend. If you like it, I'll share more. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.